Hey all, Zook here, back with part 11 of the No Damage series for Scholar of the First Sin. This time around we are going to be going through Huntsman's Copse and Earthen Peak. If you want to double check stats, those are going to get pulled up on the screen right here. And yours might be a little bit lower with the strength stat. If you decide to buy Bright Bugs already, then strength stat might be a little bit lower. But we'll just begin by heading over towards the Rotunda. And I buy a few dozen alluring skulls from Shauqua while I'm over here. Another thing that you could get, which might be a small waste of money, is you could get the Saint's Hood from Malentia at this point. It gives the same bonus as the Hexer's Hood that we're going to get from killing Falcon, but the main reason why we get Falcon's Hood over Lycia's, over the Saint's Hood, is just because Falcon's Hood is going to give a small bonus to our intelligence. But that being said, as we go through the Skeleton Lords here, assuming that you don't travel back to Majula after you kill Falcon in just a second, the Saint's Hood would actually give you that extra cast of Yearn that you could use in the Skeleton Lords fight, which might end up actually coming in handy. But that being said, we open up the Rotunda. I grab the Rouge Water and just start to run through. So as we run through, while you're here, you would probably want to kill Falcon. I actually grabbed this bonfire because I was planning on returning to him and killing him, but then after I kill these 3 hollows in the cave, I was just like, you know what, I'm already over here, I'm just gonna kill Falcon while I'm here, rather than having to make a return trip. And even though, I mean, it wouldn't cost that much of in-game time, it's an extra couple minutes of traveling and loading screens and stuff like that, so I just run back here and kill Falcon. And basically the main difference here is that instead of talking to him with 20 faith and 20 intelligence, which would have him just give you his armor set, this just means that you can buy it from Malentia back in Majula. So we'll actually buy that the next time that we go back there. And so now as we're just running through, there's going to be 2 different enemies that we try to kill here before we go into the house. First enemy is this one hanging, since he will come up and follow us. And second one's this guy on the roof that will jump down, try to surprise us. And then I always open up these windows just so I can see a little bit better in there. And then cast Yearn so that the archer in there will be distracted. And then hopefully you can see him. Pretty dark on my screen, I know, but just go ahead and shoot that archer, and then these 2 hanging hollows that will try to come up and attack you. And then I always like to shoot down this door. Technically, if you cast Yearn in the correct spot, then you should be able to just open that door, but I shoot the door, then I cast Yearn, hug the left side because the dagger wielding bandit is probably attacking the Yearn. He did so for me. Then you'll run through, kill the club bandit, and then I always double back and kill the dagger one. I've had the dagger one follow me before. But then as you come next to the ladder, this club guy will spawn into the area. And since I'd cast Yearn, as opposed to using alluring skulls to distract these bandits, since I'd used the 2 Yearn casts, I do go ahead and reset at the bonfire. And then stay on the left side as you go through the area. If you walk in front of the ladder, then that club bandit is going to jump down and you would have to just turn around and shoot him. Kill those 2 hollows, and then this artificial undead should take 3 arrows. Then this poison moss and a torch hollow after that. And normally this torch hollow will actually see you. For whatever reason, he didn't see me here. And you'll have this bandit on top of the building that we're about to drop into for a soul spear cast. And this bandit on top of the building with the lever that we're going to pull. And over here to the right, you can see a bandit in the distance. You want to get a headshot on him. And his dog will come chasing at you. It got a little bit closer than I wanted it to. You should be able to deal with it while it's far away. And then we just get this guy who's waiting to ambush us. So make sure that you're shooting all 4 of those bandits and the dog. And just pull the lever, and while you wait for the bridge to come down, we're going to come over here and get a cast of Soul Spear. That running hollow might startle you, but he isn't really any danger. And then we killed this Cyan Warrior. This is the main reason why we equipped Shockwave at the end of last video. And we grabbed this Soul Spear. And I believe that the other item that's on the ground is Green Blossoms, which actually might end up coming in handy when we want to go through the frigid outskirts. So while I don't pick it up in this video, you actually might want to pick up that item and just double check if it's Green Blossoms. But then we're going to run across the iron bridge here. Shoot this guy. And then cast Yearn so that the club bandit and the archer are going to be distracted. Shoot the archer first. The archer is a lot more dangerous than the club bandit, honestly. And then don't pass this tree on the right. As long as you don't pass that tree on the right, then this guy shouldn't lunge out at you. And then I always go to the route where Rowena spawns. I know that it seems like it's a scarier route because you have an invader up here. She is seriously so easy to just chain headshots on though. And her poise is so low that, okay, even if you miss a headshot and she starts running at you, I mean, it only takes like 3 arrows to break her poise. And if you're kiting backwards, then even if she's holding up a shield, she's going to put the shield down as she starts running at you. Like, she actually is probably the easiest invader to deal with in the whole entire game, in my opinion. And the price of being able to do that is that you only have to then kill this one hollow that you can actually sneak up on, and then cast fall control, and then you get to save like several dozen arrows. 1 or 2 casts of Yearn or some Alluring Skulls all get saved. So from here, I equipped the old Knight Hammer. Actually isn't necessary for this fight because I end up using fire bombs. And instead of the stone ring, I should have equipped the lingering dragon crest because I'm going to end up using Yearn as opposed to Alluring Skulls. But as we come in here, I also just make sure that I have fire bombs and amber herbs equipped. Then I'm going to shoot this skeleton lord in the middle a couple of times. I shoot him 3 times. And then I'm just going to kind of switch off shots between the spear guy and the scythe guy. Don't get greedy. Just kind of be patient, kite them around. Um, some of the skeleton lords will get stuck on the corners. So spear guy had gotten stuck on one of the corners. So just kind of bait those out, and then, okay, now spear guy's unstuck. Watch out for the fireballs because all three of them can shoot fire spells at you. The guy with the staff does a lot more so than the other two, but I've seen all three of them try to shoot fireballs at me before. So now it's just a matter of killing all three of the lords at the same time. And then while their tiny skeletons spawn, I'm going to cast Yearn up high on one of these pillars. Since I now have 2 Yearn casts left, I eat an amber herb so that I'm back up to full. Cast Yearn again. I now realized, oh hey, I didn't have Lingering Dragon Crest equipped. And then from here, I'm just throwing fire bombs. And I find with the fire bombs, yeah, it costs a little bit more than just using the old Knight Hammer, but it's so much safer. So even though I end up having to use another amber herb, just throw 3 fire bombs and then cast Yearn, rinse and repeat. And yeah, so the Yearn cast ends and I shoot the rest of these skeletons, and that's the fight. Really nothing too bad about it. If I'd cast another Yearn, it's not like I'm saving the Yearn for anything because we're about to rest at a bonfire before we see any other enemies. So I could have cast that Yearn just to give myself even more time to put on the Silver Serpent ring and um, get the full amount of souls that I potentially could have gotten. But put the rapier back on, put everything back where it's supposed to be. Then we're just coming up to the poison pool and Cloan. So I come grab this bonfire, and you are 100% definitely going to want to get this bonfire because we are going to come back here later in the game to get 4 free Titanite chunks. And I equip Perseverance or attune that spell. Come here, talk to Cloan, and buy Soul Appease, which we're going to need for the rat bosses in the next video. Talk to her so that she goes back to Majula. And then shoot down this Overseer. You can get 4 shots in and then you back up. And then after that you can get 3 shots before you have to back up. And then we come into Gavlin's cave. Now, I actually should have had the Homeward Bone out because Forlorn can invade you as you come into the cave here. And then the other thing that I should have done is, as I come over here, talk to Gavlin and grab this raw stone from the chest, I also should have equipped the poison moss. And I mean, honestly, I should have equipped the poison bite ring as well that I got from Cromwell back a couple of videos ago. Because as you're going to see, I cast Yearn exactly as I should to distract the enemies, grab this Titanite chunk, but my poison resistance isn't good enough. So I either could have consumed a poison moss there, while the urine cast is still going. Or I could have had the poison bite ring equipped, which would have raised my poison resistance and let me make it into Gavlin's cave again without being poisoned. Any of those options would have worked, but I messed up. So then I exit Gavlin's cave, grab this Titanite chunk, and then I'm on my way up here. Again, I have the Homeward Bone out because Forlorn can invade here. And just shooting all these enemies. Since we are going to be stopping to try to get the crystal lizards in the mines, these little hollows, a couple of them will try to follow you. So I tried to shoot all of them. But you're going to pull the lever, and as long as you just drop onto this ledge, not going to take fall damage. And then 2 arrow shots should kill each of these crystal lizards. With this second lizard that I just shot through the little trellis, the whatever you call that, the wooden support beam, that does need to be at a very particular angle to get. Otherwise, you'll just shoot the support beam, and that causes the lizard to start to run away. So just be careful with that one. But then Urn distracts these undead steel workers. So actually super easy here. You can break the barrel, it'll poison him, and just kind of shoot him. And then I actually should have cast Urn again, because Forlorn can't invade until you pass through this doorway that the steelworker just ran through. So I could have cast Urn to distract the steelworker, make sure that he gets down without coming near me, and then shooting the fire witch up there, just because that fire witch can actually cast some fireballs that will be pretty darn scary. And then time for one of the easiest bosses in the game, especially if you have an iron arrow and you shoot that hollow down to distract the demon. I mean, this is just such an easy fight. So that is that. And then we're going to run through normal Earthen Peak. And we want to make sure that Yearn and Homeward should both be equipped right now. Then you really you don't need Hush. I probably could have equipped Soul Appease since that's the next spell that needs to be in the 4th slot. But I killed these mannequins. I should have made sure that the stone ring was on, because the stone ring will stagger those grave wardens after the 2nd shot, I believe, as opposed to what you just saw here where it had to be like the 4th shot that staggered it. Cast Urn down here at the bottom of the ramp. If you cast it too high up, then the mannequin that's distracted that you just saw on the screen, that mannequin will jump down onto the ramp and try to attack the orb as you run up if you cast it too high. So now that we're across the bridge, I cast Urn a couple of times to distract the mannequin, send them back that way. This one that decides to climb down the ladder, I just hit him a couple times. And then, again, if the poise ring had been equipped, the stone ring would have made it a lot easier with killing that grave warden. Then we come on through the fog gate and light up our torch at this bonfire, being aware that the mannequin down at the bottom is still trying to shoot arrows up at us. But after you light that torch without resting, then light this on fire. And then I'm going to cast Yearn down here. And then I run up, and you want to kill this mannequin before he's able to make it through the doorway. That needs to be your top priority, because if that doorway is closed, you need to be able to get through this doorway to get to Laddersmith Gilligan. So I cast Yearn because there is this mannequin that would be waiting to ambush us. And then come over here and talk to Gilligan. And you don't need to get the Twinkling Titanite that's down there, but you do want to buy at least 5 aromatic oozes from Gilligan, because there are several bosses that we're going to fight later that are weak to magic. Just one little note as we're shooting down these 3 mannequins. One strategy that I haven't tried but might work with the mannequin that tries to close the gate on you, that gate to Gilligan, the mannequin that we just had to backstab, you might actually be able to smush that mannequin a lot more safely with the old Knight Hammer. Just something that I haven't actually tried it, but I would imagine that that might be a little bit less sketchy if you try to use the old Knight Hammer, just because then you don't have that potentially missed backstab, because backstabs can be sketchy in this game. But now we're going to lead the assassin over here, make him attack the poison urn, and shoot him a couple times with some arrows. You might want to have the poise ring, the stone ring, equipped, because that assassin can try to throw daggers at you if you don't kill him quickly enough. And then, again, we got this Grave Warden. So, just kill these 2 Grave Wardens that are guarding the way to Mytha. And there are 2 Crawley Hollows. So we take care of these guys. And then when we do go to Mytha, we're going to use the 3rd and final charcoal pine resin that we have. And then we're also going to want to use a bright bug here. Anytime that she tries to stab you with her spear, you should be trying to roll towards her right, like towards her head. I messed up there. I know that this is something that everybody says, but I swear that I did actually try to roll that one, and the input just didn't read. But again, just any time that you see her try to stab, roll to her towards her and to the right. If she tries to cast a spell, then just roll straight left or right, just straight up east or west. And then just make sure that you aren't staying on her tail, because her tail attacks are super quick and really hard to dodge. But yeah, really, she's a scary boss, but she doesn't have a lot that she actually does. Pretty limited moveset, so just gotta try to figure out what isn't going to make her hit you, you know. But now we're just going to ride up here to Iron Keep, and we're going to finish off this video by killing both of the invaders that try to get you here. So, on our way over towards the door, we kill this Elan Knight, and then we run up towards the door with the crossbow equipped, knowing that, okay, Bone Gray's out, and we jump, walk behind this pillar, carefully, extremely carefully, walk behind that pillar, and then, since the crossbow peeks out the right side, just shoot the invaders. Before you spawn the invaders, you might want to double check that you have enough bolts. Wood bolts do the job just fine here. So you could buy some from Leningrad the last time they were in Majula at the start of this video. Or if you needed to go back to McDuff, if you wanted to buy the 3 large Titanite shards needed to upgrade the Hunter's Black Bow, could also pick up some bolts while you're there. But yeah, we kill Fencer Sharon, was the first one that invaded in this video. And after this invader dies, you're going to wait a little bit until the Homeward Bone whitens up. And then wait another 2 or 3 seconds. So human effigy, and then I still wait. And now I'm going to go through. Because when I go up to the door, now Dennis is going to invade. And we just do the exact same thing to beat Dennis. You'll see, so even though I lock on here, I get like 1 or 2 shots in and then it locks off and I have to relock on. That just happens when you do this strat, so just make sure that you aren't blindly pressing R1. Make sure that you are looking at the screen. You don't need to be walking into the pillar or anything, you can just stand there. And one thing that I will mention here before we head back to the bonfire and end the video, if you see Dennis drop an item, you need to be picking that item up. Because, as you actually see in this video, and I hate that this happened on the run that I was recording, because I wish that I'd been able to use this on my own actual runs. He drops the clear bluestone ring +2. It's a rare drop, but that ring will increase your cast speed to like 50% faster, which is insane. So once both invaders are down, you'll just head back to the bonfire, since we need poison arrows and dung pies before we try to attempt Smelter Demon. So we're just going to do the rat bosses next before we come back here. So they'll be saved for next video, and I will catch you in the next one.